flooding at some power stations, and this, it says, has further led to load losses and impacted supply as the rainy weather persists. During stage 4, 4,000 megawatts is rotationally load shed nationally at a given period. Eskom says stage 4 is no cause for alarm as the system is being effectively controlled.
We've had to increase the stage of load shedding from stage 2 to stage 4 as of 10 o'clock this morning, and this is likely to continue until 11 o'clock this evening on Monday. We are likely to see load shedding continuing for the rest of the week. This is largely because of the unplanned breakdowns that are increasing on the system. We're currently sitting with 14,200 megawatts of unplanned breakdowns. And the current rains are also creating challenges for us in that we're experiencing flooding at some of our power stations, and that's further led to load losses and has impacted supply. So we have quite a few challenges currently.
The reality also is that the South African economy is hardly growing. We just saw the economy contracting in the third quarter of this year again. I've made a quick calculation, and that even if the economy expands at the rate of, say, around about 1% or so, it's quite possible, depending on some other factors, that we can have zero economic growth for this year. At this stage, I do expect the economy to grow still, but what's going to happen to electricity, of course, is one of those major factors that is going to determine whether we're going to see economic growth whatsoever this year.
To talk about economic impact of load shedding on in the country, we joined on the line by Owen Khumalo, who is CEO of Weaver Investments. Thank you very much for joining us, Owen. Just give us a picture of how will this affect investor confidence in the country as it's taking place at a time when people didn't expect that load shedding would happen.
Thank you, Colin. This certainly is not good for the economy, as you would remember that in the medium-term budget speech by the finance minister on the 30th of October, he anchored his economic recovery plan on revising the manufacturing base and stimulating expansion in the industrial sector. And given the impact of load shedding on manufacturing and industries and how it negatively affects production, it certainly has got an impact. And you also remember earlier in the year how load shedding affected the GDP numbers for the first quarter of this year when we had load shedding. Now, we've just come out of the third quarter where the GDP quarter-on-quarter figures came in negative 0.6%. That's without load shedding. So if you put load shedding on the GDP numbers for this fourth quarter, I don't think it will look very good for our economy, which is struggling to even get to 0.5% GDP growth for 2019.
Well, especially at the time when there's going to be peak time for demand and as well as manufacturing would be affected in a way because factories would like to wind down production before they close for the festive season. So how are the losses going to be impacted on given this acceleration phase?
Definitely not good. As you say, companies are winding down now. You can imagine in the manufacturing sector, companies will be rushing to put in those last orders and get those last orders out before they close down for the Christmas period. But more specifically for the tourism sector, this is the best time of the year for them. This is peak trading period for them to actually make some strides in terms of generating revenue. Now, with load shedding, you can imagine for the restaurant sector, if you go to a restaurant and there's load shedding, you are unlikely to go back the following evening or probably in the next few days. So this certainly is not good at all. And other tourist attractions as well will see a decline in the number of visitors visiting them this festive season. So we hope that the load shedding will come to an end quickly, but if it's prolonged into so many days in December, this will have a negative impact on the GDP numbers for the fourth quarter of this year.
What about businesses that are saying, we've just had enough of load shedding? I mean, like, it's not going away. This country should do something about it. And we are deciding in the medium term whether to stay or not, because South Africa is not delivering when it comes to consistent energy supply.
Exactly. So that is the factor. Because if you look at most of the businesses, two of the major input costs into production are labor and power. Now, you need security, energy security as a business to operate and plan appropriately. So how do you do your budgeting? How do you do your costing projections if you're not certain about power? So it might, and we've already seen it, some companies leaving these shores to go to other destinations where those two input costs are lower than us, so labor costs are lower, but energy costs are lower. But more importantly, energy security is guaranteed. So this is not good at all because power is at the center of production.
Right. Thank you very much for making time to speak to us. Owen Khumalo is the CEO of Weaver Investments, talking to us about the impact of load shedding on the country's economy. President Cyril